Show early because I already knew by the time the game is done, it's going to be super late. I'm not going to get on here and do it. And I've been very consistent with my Thursday shows, so I had to do it. So Thursday shows are probably going to be early. We're gonna get ourselves together because I feel like I was supposed to be on here originally every day at 6. That's what I told myself. I said every day at 6 you're gonna get on, and then it became every day at 9. And now that football is back, it's like, okay, we're gonna have to make something work, right? Saturdays, we know we do our casual chit chats. We're talking, all that other stuff. So I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out an actual schedule. I'm going to post it. I said by September 1st, and it is now September 4th. Bear with me, okay? Just bear with me. Yeah, so we're going to get into a lot of different things. It's not going to be a long show because football starts in like less than an hour. So I'm going to be in and out of here. Okay, but these topics have to be discussed. Some of them I have been sitting on because I was going to do a show yesterday, but it was a really slow news day, but whatever. And, my motivational spiel before I run the intro video is that, you know what? It's okay to pick yourself sometimes. It is okay to pick what's best for you. It's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to be like, you know what? I was feeling it, but now I'm not. And I'm going to get out of here. But what I will say is make sure you're doing it the right way. Make sure that it's, respectable and whatever choice you decide to make. Okay? Amari Cooper did. And we're going to get into that right after our intro. Admit it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it loud. Got you feeling so proud. This is how we do it now. Daily dose with this. Got you coming back for more. Yeah. So the kickoff is tonight. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. And for, I think, quite a few videos now, I've been saying who's going to beat the Eagles. It's just not looking like it's going to happen. I mean, maybe a miracle can come. This game is always really, really good, even though I don't really want to see it. But it's usually good because I feel like with the rivalry between the two, I feel like Dallas they just show up. I don't know if they just pull one out of the hat or what. They just show up really, really well in the game. So I don't think it's going to be the ultimate smackdown. Part of me thinks that it's going to be. Other part of me is like, nah, Dallas is going to show up a little bit. But having Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. So that right there, that scheme, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Obviously, I was a fan of George Pickens when he was in Pittsburgh, and now he's in Dallas. So that sucks for me. But I really like CeeDee Lamb as well. I've been very vocal about that. So this is nothing new there. Really not a fan of Dakota, but that's just my own personal preference. But I really want to see how they're going to use both of them together to really make a difference. And that is going to be, I feel like, the most competitive part of the game. I really want to see how Saquon Barkley is going to come out. And, everybody's saying that, he is really the spark that's going to continue to allow the Eagles to be just as great as they are. But they also have a lot of different weapons. They got John over there now. So I feel like the Eagles just have a lot of weapons and they do it well. Like I said before, I bragged about them having the puzzle and having the pieces to the puzzle and knowing how the puzzle is supposed to look. And it works really well over there. I think their organization is really, really great. Part of me feels like I should be a fan. I don't know. But I feel like because it's just so well executed. It's like a well-oiled machine over there. And I just want that for Pittsburgh so bad, whatever. We'll see. They will be dropping the banner tonight. Allegedly, the players will not be on the field for it. They don't want to relive it. They don't want to be in it or nothing. They want to put it behind them. They're looking forward. They're like, this is going to be a new year, a new focus, and we're just trying to get back to the Super Bowl again. And remember that most times they say teams have a really hard time after they win the Super Bowl of being really, really good and getting back to the Super Bowl. But I don't think that's going to be the case for Philadelphia. I think that they are going to already have their footing. They already know what they have. They did lose some players, but they added some really key components. So I don't think that that is going to be a thing for them. And yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to see what they both do offensively. I'm really not worried about the defense at this point. I know the trenches over there for Philadelphia are literally the trenches, so I'm not really worried about that. But I do want to see how the offensive scheme goes. That's really what I'm looking forward to watching tonight. Okay, anyway, moving on. Myles Garrett, this huge plummet of a man, he sat out of practice because he has a hip injury. This is alleged. Okay, but sitting out of practice because he has a hip injury, and they're trying to figure out, is he going to be ready to go for Sunday? I'm thinking that maybe he sat out because they want him to be ready for Sunday. They want to, they don't want to overexhaust it. They don't want to, have anything else or worse happen to him. So it's like, okay, you're cool. You've been doing this for forever. Just nothing new for you. So sitting out of a practice or two is not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt. If anything, it'll help because hopefully your hip will be well rested. It'll be well stretched and you'll be ready and good to go on Sunday. And I absolutely think that he's going to play on Sunday. The only way I don't foresee him playing is if like that hip fall off and he only got one hip. And even then, he may still get out there. They are opening up against, I believe that's the Bengals. I didn't pull up the schedule. But yeah, I think it's very precautionary. And again, he's a huge, huge human. So any rest is good rest. And I think it'll be fine for him. He's not new to this. He's true to this. This is not unfamiliar territory for him. So I think he'll be just fine. We're going to move on from that. Would you guys like my mug? Isn't it so cute? You've seen it before, but I just felt like I wanted to bring it out today. I was just, for mama. Yeah. Okay, moving on. First of all, I always have to remind myself to delete the topics as we go. Anyway, we're going to round off our NFL content. Yeah. A week away. Less than a week, actually. Amari Cooper decides, yeah, I'm good. I'm done. Peace out. Chris Brown told me to throw up the deuces. I'm out of here. I'm over this. I'm tired. I'm retiring. 31 years old. I'm out of here. See you later. His last team that he was with was the Las Vegas Raiders, so they broke the news today that he is retiring after 10 seasons of being a football player. Most people know him from when he was with Dallas, and I feel like ever since they got rid of him, because that's how I feel like Dallas just gets rid of people. But I feel like ever since they got rid of him, his career just wasn't the same. He went to Buffalo, wasn't the same. Raiders, it's just, I didn't feel like he was just the same capacity of player that he was. And of course, things happen over time. You get a little older, and they're always saying NFL players are old when it comes to like age 30, 31, 32. So at this point, he is considered old, but in our eyes, it's like, dude, you're not old. You're probably just getting started. But he said he's tired and don't want to do it anymore. It would be cool, though, if Dallas would sign him for like a day so he can retire as a Cowboy. That's if that's what he wants. But I always think it's super duper cool when the players, like, they want to retire with the team that they either started with, the team that they had the most longevity with. Like, that's where they want to do it. So it would be cool if that's what he wanted, and then Dallas can and does do that. But Jerry Jones has been on one lately, so we're not gonna look forward to that. But he is going into retirement. I can't wait to see what he does for his next, career plan. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna try to go into being a commentator? I really never actually heard him talk that much, though. So I don't know if commentary is it, but maybe he has some other thing that he wants to do, focus on his family and things like that. So, congratulations and welcome to retirement. Okay, welcome to retirement. Raiders, I'm going to just assume that they already have another game plan going in. I would be pissed though. If I was the coach, if I was the teammates, I would be kind of pissed, like low key, like dog. We play like in a few days. We play in a few days, dog, and you decide to do this today. You couldn't do it at the top of preseason. You couldn't do it. But yeah, whatever. Things happen. He said, yeah, 2 up, 2 down. I'm out of here. Peace out. Peace out, Girl Scout. Yeah. I do want to throw this in here though, because somebody was on my line today telling me how Pittsburgh is going to be shiitake mushrooms, because I'm not going to say the word on here. And you know what? I just feel like don't be a hater, because your team is way worse than mine. And I'm sure he may see that. So, there's that. Did you guys bet? Did you guys put in your picks? I hope you put in your picks. It's not too late. It's not too late. But all the good options are going to be gone at this point. They're going to be gone. So I hope that you put in your picks. Okay? They had Price Picks was running like a special that Dak Prescott would throw over 0.5 yards. That's easy. He should knock that out the park. That was an easy one. Early on, they had one where they had a pick where Saquon Barkley would rush. I think it was 46.5 yards. You can do more or less. Kind of an easy one too. They had one where CeeDee Lamb would get a half yard touchdown, I think. Or he would get over 6.5 receptions. So also kind of easy, less or more. So hope you bet on that one. And John Mechie, I think, had 1.5, higher or lower with receptions, and then with receiving yards. So again, I hope you put in your picks. You wait now, I think the yards is probably up. Like, I think the last time I checked, Saquon Barkley yards were like over 100 rushing yards. And I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to be like, yeah, he's definitely going to get over 40 yards when you do it early. So do it early. If you haven't put your bets in for Sunday, do it now. Okay. I just had to mom you real quick. Okay? Do it now. Okay? Do it now. They got some good promos going on, so do it now. All right. Moving on. I don't really talk about Major League Soccer that much. I have done in the past where a lot of the soccer players were talking about they were standing with Jesus and they weren't doing the LGBTQ plus things that they were doing, like the promo, like wearing the bands and the jerseys and things like that. I don't think they do jerseys. I'm sorry. That was a mistake. They were wearing bands. Captains wore bands, and then they wore some type of other stuff. And some players were like, we're not doing that. So that was the last time I actually talked about them. But this time we're talking about over here, Mr. Louis Cesar. Yeah. So this man has an anger issue and has an anger problem, and he's a frequent flyer. He's bit somebody before. He's racially harassed somebody before. He has a problem and he needs to be dealt with. I'm just saying. Okay. But recently in the Leagues Cup, he's a part of Miami International. He's a part of Miami. He plays over there with Messi. That's all I know. And they're in the League Cup. They're losing. And he spits on the Seattle Sounders staff. Spits! If it's that one thing I hate the most is like the fact that you thought it was okay for you to spit on me. Like, not on me, but like if I was the staffer, right? In my mind, you're going down. You're going down. You're going to have to meet the maker, because spitting is so disgusting. It is so disgusting. I feel like that's one of the most disrespectful things that you could do to someone, is to spit on them. Like, you're asking to get beat up at that point by spitting on someone. I just can't. I can't even think about it. But yes, he spit on the Seattle Sounders staffer. He is currently facing punishment. He did come out and apologize, but you can keep your apology on that, because that's just ultimately disrespectful. There's no coming back from that, in my opinion. I mean, like I said, he's bit people, he's racially harassed people, he has done a lot of different things. He's a frequent flyer when it comes to his behavior, and at some point, the punishment has to now match said behavior. And I know that Major League Soccer is very different, but at some point, you have to stop accepting behavior that is like this, and this should be the final straw. 3 strikes, you're out. Right? So at this point, they're saying that his suspension will be very lengthy, but nothing official has come out yet. So we're going to keep tabs on this, because I want to know what they're going to do for his suspension. Yeah. Yeah, he needs a lengthy one. And soccer's long, so make it long. That's what I think. That's what I say. What do y'all think about that? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know how you would feel if someone was to spit on you because they're mad that they're losing. Not only are you a sore loser, you're disrespectful. Yeah, he deserves whatever is coming to him in terms of punishment and suspension wise. That's just my opinion. Okay, now we're going to move on. I only have a few more topics left. Told you this is going to be a short show. I may actually be telling the truth this time. When I say it's a short show, I really may be telling the truth. Y'all know I never be lying. When I say, oh, it's going to be a short shot, and I talk on for an hour. But I'm going to stop doing sidebars, because that's how I get to the point where I'm talking too much. Get into it. All right. A Mizzou player was the very first player in a game setting to wear a Guardian cap. They have incorporated Guardian caps in practices, spring trainings, all of those things. You know, the NFL has also incorporated them. They have not made it mandatory, but they have allowed the players to wear them if they so please. He decided, well, I'm going to wear it also during the game. It has been noted, I've done a video on this before. You can probably go and find it. It was a minute ago, like when it very first came out. But the statistic is this can help lower your head injuries and concussions by 50%. So he decided that he wanted to wear it, and I think that it's cool. It actually doesn't look that bad. Like when you look at it, it's like, okay. The only thing on his is the stripe going down the center. They could have done a little bit better with that, but it's getting there. I personally I don't have an issue with it. I don't see why people have an issue with it. I think it's kind of crazy. Like, you're mad that he wants to protect his brain, even if it is a 50%. 50% is better than 0, right? And you could look at it and be like, well, you know, the manufacturers of these helmets need to do better. And I absolutely agree with you with that. They need to do better when it comes to the structure of these helmets, because you shouldn't have to then wear something on top, on the outside of your helmet, to then lower the statistics of you getting a concussion, having your brain shake around in your head because you done got knocked out. But we've seen quite a few people get knocked out, clean slam out. And they probably could have benefited from a Guardian cap. It was back when Tua was facing his like 8th concussion, and I was like, he probably need to wear one of these too. He probably needs to wear one of these. So kudos to the guy. I think it looks fine. People were upset about it in the comments. I don't know why. I don't know why. What is this young man's name? I had it written down. I think I took a screenshot. Let me see. Yeah, I did. Oh, I did. Darius Smith becomes the first player in the SEC to wear a Guardian cap in a game. And they had a 61-6 victory over Central Arkansas, but we not focused on that. We not focused on that. But yeah, so boom, So maybe we'll see more players in the SEC do this. I think if they can really get it to match. It doesn't look that bad in black. The picture, you probably can't see it as great, but it doesn't look bad in black at all, in my opinion. And again, why are we mad about people want to protect their heads? It's not your business, not your head. You shouldn't even be mad. Moving on. All right. The NCAA has made some changes as of today. This is breaking news. Breaking news, right? Okay. I thought I did. So the NCAA votes to basically move to a January only. You can only open the transfer portal in January. The spring one is now eliminated. You do not get 2 different times to enter the portal when it comes to football anymore, or any sports in general. So you don't get to do it. The oversight committee was like, this is getting a little out of hand, but I previously reported on this, and I said that they were thinking about doing it because they were saying, and a lot of other schools were saying, I'm just saying that the 2 windows of opportunity was just too much, especially with so much NIL and things going on. Some schools were getting, were losing out on money. They were paying people, or, saying we're going to give you this much. And then the next portal window, they were out of there. So they got their money and they left. And it was a lot of just, nah, we're not doing that. So now they're like, if you want to transfer, you can transfer basically at the end, especially when it comes to football, at the end of the football season in January. That's when you want to do it. So if you want to jump in that portal, you better jump in January, because you're not jumping in at any other point. Once you get there, you're there. And I think it's pretty fair. I think it's pretty fair, because again, once you get there, you're there. You need to be there, be in the program, sit there for at least a year, figure it out. See what it's about before you just be like, well, I ain't gonna get as much playing time as I want, so I'm out of here. I think you need to sit and hold for a second. So I agree with it. Way back when I said it in the beginning, I was like, this is actually not bad. And it just says, with the article, it just says the proposed loan transfer window would be a 10-day period that opens up on January the 2nd, starting this year, starting next year actually, so 2026. And then 1 day after the college football playoffs quarterfinals are complete. So, and it says the D1 Administrative Committee must approve the legislative changes before it can take effect, and they will be doing the vote, and it will be solid as of October the 1st, or before October the 1st. So if it is like, that's it, the 10-day period is it, opening in January, like it's going to kick off and start right when it's supposed to start, we would know officially October the 1st. But I think it's pretty cool. You get 10 days to enter the portal, do your thing, and carry on after that. I don't think it's a bad thing. So make your decisions wisely. Pick and choose wisely. There's still players that are still sitting and floating around in the portal. So if you're lucky to get out of the portal, you may actually want to take your chance and just see what the program is about that you actually agreed to go to. Like, that's the thing. You agreed to go there, and then you just hop in a portal like, yeah. I think this will kind of help mellow some things out. Hopefully stop some of the complaints too. I don't know. What do we think about this? Let me know. But anyway, we're going to move on to our last topic. Da-da-da-da! We are cutting the show, y'all. I'm dipping and doing it today. Boom. This one is not a light topic. I'm just going to preference that now. It's not a light topic at all. And when I first seen it, it kind of made me mad. And I was like, this is horrendous. Okay. So this is Lakin. And I'm going to bring up her article here because, yeah. Okay. Boom. Yeah, that's too small. I know I got to be able to read a little bit. Okay. So this, like I said, this is Lakin Snelling. Okay. She was a cheerleader, or is a cheerleader. She shouldn't be anymore, but she was a cheerleader for the University of Kentucky. And she also was a pageant girl. And yeah, okay. She is being charged and she was arrested in the connection of the death of her newborn. Okay, I want to read the article here so that way you don't just say I'm just pulling things out of the air, because I'm not. But this is what it says. Some of this will be repetitive, but we got it. A university cheerleader was arrested and charged in connection to the death of her newborn. University of Kentucky athlete Laken Snelling was charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant, according to the police. She pled not guilty in the Fayette District Court on Tuesday. According to an arrest citation, officers were called to her home last Wednesday after a dead newborn was found in a closet. The citation says the infant was found wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. The 21-year-old allegedly admitted to giving birth and concealing the birth, according to the Lexington police. She posted a $100,000 bond. She was ordered to remain on house arrest at her parents' home in Tennessee. UK Athletics confirmed Snelling is a senior and a member of the university's stunt team. They didn't confirm that she was off the stunt team, but they did confirm her attendance at the university. It's very disheartening. It's very disheartening. And I have tried to look, I try to bring y'all I try to be objective and subjective, but I try to look at it from both spectrums here. Part of me is like, okay, she was pregnant. She didn't want to be pregnant, clearly. And she thought there was no other option but to wrap her baby in a towel and put it in a trash bag and put it in her closet. There's no other details about who found it, how it became a thing, who actually called the police. That stuff is not in that report. So I will be following up on that when the details come out. But the other part of me is like, we got to hold her accountable. I'm saying we as like the public, the media, everybody, like just a thing. Because that is very, very sad and sickening that you felt as though your only choice was to put your baby in a towel and put it into a black trash bag and put it in the closet. And there is no time frame as to when all of this happened either. So the baby could have been in there for a year. The baby could have been in there for a week. The baby could have been in there, 3 days. But she did admit to being pregnant, giving birth, and putting the baby in the closet, but she pled not guilty. But that's just the way that the things go. So yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. And obviously we know X happens. Like we're not gonna pretend that we don't be dipping and doing it, right? Okay, cool. But why didn't you take precaution to protect yourself? Why did you not, anything. I promise. I mean, maybe her parents would have been mad if she would have told them, but I promise the parents would have gotten over it and they would have took care of the baby. Like, your life did not have to be over. Your life's going to be over now. I mean, but I don't know. Because people have done this before and they've gotten basically slaps on the wrist. I don't know, but it just infuriates me that this was the only option. This was the only option. Again, this was the only option. Absolutely not. This does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. Smart girl, you're a senior, so you're not stupid. You're not a freshman rolling up in here. You knew exactly what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. Yeah, you may have been in distress and all that stuff because you're doing it, but you hid a pregnancy. You had a baby and you decided that you wanted to unalive the baby and put it in a closet. There's something else that we can say. I can't even rationalize this, but this is what's going on. I'm going to keep tabs on this case to see what happens. We'll see what comes from it. I just accountability. I just hope that they hold her accountable for her actions. That's all I can hope. So yeah. Sorry I had to end it on this kind of note, but I didn't want to put it in the beginning because I didn't want to be upset trying to get through the rest of the topics. I just didn't want to do it. But yeah, she has a place, and you know what, for those actions. So I'm just spreading the news. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, NFL is officially back. The season is here. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited about it just to see what's going on. I get college, I get NFL. I feel like almost every day of the week I'm going to be filled with football. We're starting off with Thursday, so we get Thursday night football. We get high schools on Friday. They do some college on Friday, but high school's on Friday. I'm going to take myself right up the street to them high school games because I remember high school games used to be lit. So I'm going to take myself up to the high school games on some Fridays, not every Friday. Fridays, I get the high school. Saturday, I get the college. Games. And more likely than not, I'm not covering a game this week. Unfortunately, I have some other things to do, so I'm not going to be covering the game this week, but I will come back and tell you about Clemson and South Carolina, so don't worry about that. I will be doing that, but I get college games on Saturday. I get NFL on Sunday, NFL on Monday. The only days I don't have football is Tuesdays and Wednesday, but low-key, I actually rewatch games that I missed on Sunday on Tuesday. So really, I only got one day a week where I'm free, where I'm not talking about or watching football. I'm gonna be exhausted by the end of the season, but it's okay because I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited, and that's just what it's going to be. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being here with me. As you know, support the cause, okay? Support the cause if you want to. The Cash App is there. You can send it to other ventures as well. You can just send me a DM if you want to. Whatever, just support. We got to throw it up there. Make sure you get your merch. Your merch can be found at pglovesports.com. I have Pretty Girls Love Football merch, and it's up there. I'm going to be making some individual merch. I cannot wait till you guys see my line sisters. I'm making her a puffer jacket. She's an Eagles fan. She's an Eagles fan, and that one's going to slap. I have to do it out for her. So I'll be making customized merch too. So if you want to, pre-order, put your orders in. You have some ideas that you want me to do and make. I've been doing it, but now I'm back at doing it. You can send me a DM for that. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing on all social media platforms at PG Love Sports, or you can type it in Pretty Girls Love Sports, because I be dipping and I do it, and I'm Des. This is the Daily Dose of Des, and I'm signing the heck out. Early on y'all. But love you.